It's crazy. I'm listening to you and I'm saying, okay, so who does not want to hear what you have to say? Most people don't want to hear what you have to say. Okay. Now, why is most people not wanting to hear what you have to say? When a kid is being raised, you got the good cop and the bad cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
In many instances, the father's the bad cop. Many instances in the family nucleus where mom and dad are together, the father plays the bad cop. The father comes in, get your shit together. You ain't doing nothing. Be a man. Go make money. Get off your ass. Yeah. All you're doing is this. All you're doing is that. And that's the message. However, if the market is only filled with only one of the two, it's not healthy.
Yep.
Meaning, if it's only Tate giving this message, that's not healthy. If it's only the mom saying, well, leave him alone, Andrew.
Yep.
You're being too tough on him.
Yep.
You don't know what he's going through. He's just a kid.
Yep.
He's 12 years old. Why are you being so tough on him? And you, the father, I'm trying to turn him into a man. He needs to be a man. You realize how tough the world is. But babe, he's just a kid, babe. Leave him alone. You don't know what happened with him last week. So then you, as the father, goes to sleep and you tell her you didn't hear anything she said, but you're sitting there saying, maybe she's got a point. Maybe she's got a point. And in the morning, you go to the kid and say, hey, no matter how much shit I talk and I challenge you, guess what? I love you. I believe in you. I think you're going to do something special with your life, but I want to see you be a leader, right? So the problem with the market is they only want to give mommy's message
completely
without daddy's message. This is why I believe this message blew up because the market needs this as well. Because so what happens when I listen to Andrew's message, you'll say something. You know what? Like we met a lady of yours that you introduced to us yesterday. Said, this is my wife.
Yeah.
And we met her, right? And you said, I'm not in a phase where I want to have thousands. If I wanted to, I could every night, I could have a different girl, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff you say. We say, for me, it's only 5. Okay.
5's the magic number.
Yeah, and you say 5's the number. Okay. So you say that. And is it satire? Is it real? Is it straight up? Or are you just saying it because you still want to poke a little bit? You still don't want to lose the ability to poke?
Yeah.
Or is it, that's really what I do want to do?
Yeah.
You know, I do want to kind of have 5 wives because there's a leak in that argument as well. If you take that angle of saying, I want to have 5 wives.
No, completely. And that's a good point. And that's an interesting one as well, because I had a conversation with a journalist from the Telegraph who came to my house, and I had a long conversation with him, which I'm about to raise. Before that, I just want to quickly say something that you reminded me of earlier. I think that one of the main reasons people hate me is because my message is one of the fact that I came from absolutely nothing. I never had a privileged upbringing in any regard, and I became exactly what I wanted to be. And if you subscribe to my message and you're a fat, unhappy man, then you know all of the failures are your own. I'm a reflection. I am saying that if you understand how I think and my world, you could have become anything you want to be. But you're unhappy with who you are, and that is your fault. So the people who hate me sit there and go, well, if he's right, then I fucked up. If he's right, I could have been anyone I wanted to be. And I fucked up. So he can't be right. He has to be wrong because this is not my fault. This is the fault of whatever. I had an unlucky upbringing, or my girl left me, or that it's someone else's fault. Right. If I take responsibility like Tate tells me, then I'm a fuck up.
Right.
So I have to hate Tate. Tate has to be wrong. And that's why if you look at the composition of my haters, I'm talking about their physical composition as people. You can just look at the people. He likes Tate. He hates Tate.
Yep.
He likes Tate. She likes Tate. She wants to go on Tate's yacht. She can't stand his ass. It's very easy to see. Physically, you can just look at their faces. And yep, no. You can see it, right? Because it's all about personal responsibility, which is what I teach. And that's why a lot of people hate me. So that's the first thing I was talking about, reflection. But it's very interesting what you're saying about the 5 wives thing. Part of what I do when I talk, especially about my personal life, to a degree, is subversion. I learned this. My father was a chess grandmaster, right? And I used to travel around America with him, and he'd play chess. And back then, there was a lot of former KGB guys who played chess in these massive tournaments. And when they spoke, they were very subversive. He'd introduce you to his girlfriend, and she'd be his wife. And then his other girlfriend, she's his wife. And then his friend is his daughter. And they just say things that aren't really true. Another thing they do is they're very, very emotive with their hands, which is a habit that I kind of learned sometimes. So if they were sitting there and an argument got kind of heated, they'd begin to move their hands a lot as they disagree. Listen to me, listen, da-da-da-da, and they move their hands because then you can't see if they're going to hit you. So they start to move their hands and you get used to it and then whack, right? So there's a few things I picked up from them, but there's a degree of subversion. So if I sit and say I have 5 wives or 10 wives or 1 wife or no wife, I like that the Matrix doesn't completely understand why I have. That's one of the main reasons I do it. The second thing is this. I sat there with a reporter from the Telegraph who said that, why would you have 5 wives? If you cheat on them, they're unhappy. And I said, my friend, who are you to tell women how they feel and what decisions they want to make? How insulting of you. How chauvinistic are you to sit and say that women do not have the independent thought to decide, I am prepared to share the top G because of his qualities and accolades and financial capability, as opposed for you to sit here and say they're not allowed to think that. They have to think what we believe they should think, what the Matrix tells them they should think. There are plenty of beautiful women out there who will say, you know what? A man like him, he might do this and that on the side, but you know what? He's my man. There's women who will think that. They won't think it for a fucking loser, but they'll certainly think at the top. When Chris Brown walks in the club and all the girls start screaming, do you think they're going, yes, he'll be loyal? Fuck no. He's Chris Brown. They don't give a shit because of his status. At a certain status of man, and I'm not saying that men should cheat, I'm not saying these things, I'm saying at a certain status of man, the idea of absolute exclusivity and absolute loyalty becomes less important to the female because of his other accolades. That's a fact. Every king, every sultan, read the Bible. Every warlord had a bunch of women. Why? Because he was the warlord. The fucking shit muncher didn't, but the warlord did. That's just the way the world's always been.
That distinction, by the way.
There is a distinction.
It's just the top man.
It's just the top. And I'm not saying that all men can do it, but that's also my message. I don't say to all men, have a bunch of girls. I don't say that. I say, you better become the fucking man. All I can tell you is what it's like up here and how I got here. If you're telling me you're adamant on staying down there, then don't cry that you're lonely, because I don't know that life. I can't tell you. So once again, I talk about 5 wives, 4 wives, whatever, etc. But these feminists who attack me saying he gets these women and he cheats on them. If a female decides she wants to be with me, assuming that's what I even do, I could be Mr. Monogamous for anyone fucking knows, right? Assuming that's what I do, that's her imperative. She's an adult. She can sit there and go, okay, my man's the big boss and he's with me 99% of the time, but I know if he goes to Moscow on a business trip, he's doing X, but he comes home to me and I'm driving a Bentley and I'm happy. That's her imperative. That's her prerogative. It's only the feminists and the fucking people who care so much about misogyny and love the women so much who come along and say women are not allowed to think for themselves. No, they're not allowed to accept that. They can accept whatever they want. Women are the gatekeepers. It's a free market and women are the gatekeepers. Women have all the choice. If they want to get a guy who doesn't fuck nothing else, they can go get some other guy. Women have all the options in the world. So if last week I was on my yacht in Croatia, there was me, my brother, and like 30 girls. All the girls were getting messages. Why are you there? I want to be here. I want to be on this boat.
I'm not being held hostage.
Confusing?
I'm not against my will.
That's their decision to make. How arrogant and narcissistic must you be as a random individual, especially a male, a random, unattractive male with no girlfriend, to message an attractive woman and tell her that what she's doing, she thinks wrong for being with me and my brother on a yacht, and that she should instead want him playing video games at home. What kind of level of delusion are you operating under to even believe that that's a paradigm of reality? And these are the people who dislike me, who then get exposed for being pedophiles like Dad's Black. So it's just absolutely insane. I'm sorry to keep rambling, but I want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about one more thing because it's really important. They say I'm a threat to women, which is absolutely not the truth. It couldn't be further from the truth. And I want to say 2 things about that. I can't think of another person who reached fame as meteorically as me, who never had I've yet to have a single woman come out and accuse me of rape, sexual assault, try and get money from me. None. I have a long and varied history with females, and not a single one, despite I now have hundreds of millions of dollars, has come forward, now that I'm the most famous man in the world, despite the newspapers finding them online, finding exes I haven't spoken to for years, calling them and offering them 25 grand for a story, bribe, to turn on me. Not one of them has decided to turn on me and lie for money. Not one. And that could have very easily happened to me. It would have been a nail in one of the coffins if that would have happened to me. Luckily, none of it did because I'm a gentleman and these women know that what's happening to me is bullshit. Not a single one has come forward against me, but I'm a threat to women. I would argue that most men in my position, if they had a meteoric rise, one of their stupid exes would go, fuck this guy. Yeah, I'll take the money and start talking shit. I would argue that would happen to a lot of men. Never happened to me. It's the first thing. The second thing I want to argue is when they say I'm a threat to women. If I have choice, why would I be a threat? The threat to women is the man with no access to women. These people who want to do these videos, these unattractive, objectively unattractive, unsuccessful people who do takedown videos of me, who can't get a girlfriend, he's the guy who's going to be dangerous to women. He's the creep. I have choices. If a girl says to me, I don't like you, no problem. Thank God, one less WhatsApp conversation. Goodbye. Have a nice life. Nice to meet you. Like, it doesn't matter to me, right? So the men who are successful with women are not the dangers. It's the men who are unsuccessful with women who are the dangers. So once again, the whole paradigm is shift. It's bullshit. I have no reason to hurt a female or rape a female or trick a female in any regard. Why would I do that?
It's
basic
economics, supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
If you're high in demand and there's a ton of women there, and one of the women leaves, you have an unlimited supply.
So why am I
But
going to
if
become a
one
weirdo?
man who can't get any females, who has no supply and he's in complete high demand, and the woman breaks his heart, or he can't even get a woman, what kind of ramifications are going to happen for him?
And this is the thing. Daz Black, during the height of the takedown, and it's actually also, it talks to groupthink, right? Because a lot of the people who did videos to try and take me down did it for completely selfish reasons. We have learned that the algorithm has now been programmed to reward you doing a negative video on tape. If you do a negative video on tape, you get millions of views. I want millions of views because I have a YouTube channel. I get money, I get clout. Do I give a shit if it's true? Do I give a shit about Tate? Do I give a shit about the ramifications in his life? No. All these other people did it, so I'm going to do it. So people start jumping on the bandwagon, right? Tate's bad, Tate's bad, Tate's bad, for their own personal selfish views. So a guy called Daz Black did a video on me, got 10 million hits, trying to say that I'm a threat to women. He's objectively unattractive. He's an obese video gamer. Did a video on me saying that I'm a threat to women. After that, women started coming forward saying, this guy spoke to a 13-year-old girl. Here's the videos. This guy buys sexual things from an underage girl. It's all coming out about him being a pedophile now. So he's sitting there as the criminal himself, filled of hate and envy at an innocent man, plus clout chasing, attacking me. When truthfully, who's turned out to be the threat to women? How many women have come forward about me? 0. How many women have come forward about him? 2 and counting. It's absolutely and utterly, it's crazy. And if these social media companies have any kind of consciousness and any kind of brain, they should be analyzing this in real time going, we fucked up. We fucked up here. And we'll see what happens in real time. But it's very interesting. It's a very interesting observation on the world. The people who hate me most are the unsuccessful ones. And it turns out they're the ones with the skeletons in their closet. The people who have their shit together, we're all fine, right? Crazy. It's a crazy world.
Yeah.